Hello, 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 hello. I hope you're or night is going super lovely. For this video, I am using a different mic today. I have here the Rode mini mic. I did clip it to my shirt so I can use both hands for this video. So I hope that you will be able to hear me well. I will be softly speaking throughout this video and sharing with you all the fragrances that I'm most excited to be wearing this summer. I'm not too excited about summer. I mean, I am so glad that my girls are going to be out of school. They still have a couple days of school, but they're almost there, so I'm excited that they will be having vacation. But I do not enjoy the summer heat. But these fragrances will be making it much better. At least that's what I like to tell myself. Yes. So, these videos could be quite long. So grab a drink, a snack, get comfy, and let's begin. So first and foremost, leave me what you like to wear in the summer in the comments down below. Do you enjoy your aquatics, your marine scents? Do you enjoy your salty scents? That can also be salty aquatics or salty florals. Do you like your tropical florals like ylang ylang or frangipani, also known as plumeria? Do you like your tropical fruits or just like your fruity scents in general? Do you like your clean scents or soapy scents? Let me know. Some people like to have scents that are quite cooling and refreshing, or some people like to smell quite warm, lush, and they really dive into like the heat of the summer. So there's no wrong way to do it, as long as you feel like you smell good or you smell like yourself. Okay, so looking at my bottles here, I'm trying to figure out where we are going to start. I guess we'll start with the fragrance that I'm wearing today. That makes the most sense. So I have my fragrance strips here, so we can do some spring sounds. But the fragrance that I'm wearing today, my fragrance of the day, is from Void. Now, I love this house. This is a new discovery for me. I have purchased all of my Void fragrances through Stell, but they do have their own website, and they are quite affordable, especially for a niche or indie house. These 50 ml bottles are $68, which in comparison to fragrances at Sephora or Ulta, that is pretty good. And they're so unique, but also I feel like they are very mass appealing scents. And I think that there's a fragrance for everyone in this house. This one is Fever Dream, and I love the imagery here. Now, Void was also known as Lab House. They have since changed their name to Void, which I love. All of their bottles are white and square like this with the metal cap, the chromatic metal cap. But the images on the bottle are all different. I think they got pretty, I guess, viral, you could say, on TikTok from their lilac fragrance, which is also amazing. I wore that one in the spring, but this is a summer banger if you like tart, juicy, in your face, fruity citrus. This is gonna be so good. I would consider this a citrus floral because there is this metallic rose component, and this is also quite ozonic as well. I actually love their description for this fragrance, so I will read it to you. Fever Dream by Void is a chromatic vision of pomelo and metallic rose radiating through an ozonic veil. Fever Dream is heat in motion. It opens with bright pomelo and tropical citrus, juicy, sharp, almost blinding in its freshness. The kind of brightness that hits your skin and makes everything feel more alive. There is a salty air underneath it, something aquatic and sunlit that keeps the citrus from feeling sweet. A soft metallic rose runs through the center, subtle but unexpected, giving the light a pulse. It wears like sun on bare skin. Warm, electric, a little unreal. Fever Dream is for long days that turn into longer nights. I love that. So this is a very summer coated fragrance without ever leaning too tropical, without ever leaning too sunscreeny. It's also quite unique. It's just like mouth wateringly good. It makes my mouth pucker. Now, I believe the perfumers of Void are actually two chemists, I want to say. And I mean, they truly make works of art. Seriously. So the top notes is Lily of the Valley, pink pepper, grapefruit, pineapple, and citrus. I would say that the citrus is up top. They combine to make almost like a guava type of fruity sensation. But again, nothing overly tropical. But yes, that pomelo is really like the key player. Then the middle notes are jasmine, sambac, amber, and rose. The rose is quite ethereal and sheer, but I guess because of that metallic quality, it has like a slight sharpness, a slight bite. And then the base notes are cashmere, melon, and musk. I would say that this scent, let me spray. This scent isn't linear, which I love. So it starts out as this like vivacious citrus concoction, and then you start to get the rose, even the jasmine, and the amber and cashmere lends to the warmth of this fragrance, but never too warm, because again, you do get that like ozonic quality. It's so nice, guys. Check out Void if you're looking for something interesting and fun. I'm a weirdo because this is such like an uplifting scent, but I'm so addicted to this that I wear this to bed. I don't even care. It's so good, guys. This is so good. Yeah. Okay, so that is Fever Dream. Like, that name is so fun. Yeah. They do have another fragrance that is very summer coated, definitely more like sunscreen vibes. I believe there's actually a sunscreen note in that one. It's called Stranded. Roxo is going to be your lilac, and it's kind of like a shampoo-y lilac. It's so good. It has like fruity nuances to it, but it's still very much like photorealistic lilac bush. Fallen is interesting. It has like an apple note, and it starts out kind of bright and pretty with the apple, and then it gets a bit darker and deeper and woody. Stellar Bloom is the other bottle that I have in my collection, and that is a beautiful gardenia. It kind of reminds me of Michael Kors, the Michael, the discontinued gem. I don't know what happened. That's like the ultimate tuberose fragrance, I believe. And Stellar Bloom lends very similar to that fragrance. So, but yeah, Fever Dream is incredible, and the whole house is amazing, especially for the price. And their fragrances have a lasting power, if that's something that's important to you. Okay, the next one that I guess we'll talk about, I feel like I have to talk about both of these, maybe not together, but because you'll see, I do a lot of combos, and this is like my favorite combo. I'll just show you. These two, I love wearing them together. This is French Waltz by Golf Le Fleur, and this is Universal Flowering Burst. But we're going to talk about this one first. I mean, I love wearing them together, but I do love wearing them separately as well. So, French Waltz. So this is actually Tyler, the Creator's brand, Golf Le Fleur, and I believe this was like his passion project. He loves perfume. He is a frag head, which I love, and smelling this fragrance, you can definitely feel the love and the joy that he had creating this. And it's honestly super unique, like no other. It doesn't smell like any other fragrances that I have smelled, which says a lot, especially in this market where we're getting new launches left and right. It's kind of crazy. This I would consider like a fresh floral. It has beautiful florals in it, like mimosa, rose, a lot of my favorite florals. And I do know that two of his favorite fragrances are Prada Infusion Iris, which is a like clean iris scent, slightly powdery. And then he also really loves Little Flower by Regime de Fleur in collaboration with Chloe Sevigny. And I could see those inspirations in this fragrance. This is a beautiful rose for the rose haters, and I would also consider Little Flower, A Beautiful Rose for the rose haters. But it's so much more than rose. There is a little bit of bite to this fragrance. But I love, again, how it wears on my skin, because this is another one that is not linear. So it does change as it wears on your skin. Let me go ahead and pull up the notes. I also love how like campy this bottle is without doing, you know, too much. Let's see. Okay. So this is, or he considers this, a rose musk scent that exudes opulence and chromatic character. French Waltz is dozing off in the garden, using the sun as a towel to dry off the leftover beads of lake water. The smell of damp jasmine petals sails in the air, while hints of mandarin and magnolia amplifies luminous sandalwood. Sweet, yet floral, French Waltz is a rose musk made for everyone. I love that. So let me go ahead and read the notes. We have at the top magnolia, lychee, nashi pear, and mandarin orange. The middle notes are rose, jasmine, mimosa, lily of the valley, and the base notes are musk and sandalwood. I think lychee can offer, and nashi pear as well, can offer kind of like a punchy, fruity quality as well. And you definitely get that up at the top. Also, magnolia is like a citrus floral. It oftentimes smells quite lemony. So you get a lot of that. That musk in here is quite addicting. And this is like a white, clean musk. It's not an animalic musk. Yeah, it's very, very beautiful. And you can also smell the mimosa, because there is also, along with that freshness, there's also that like cuddly, soft, yeah, it's almost like a texture. So think of like a pom-pom. I always correlate mimosa to like yellow pom-poms, and so it has that like fuzzy, soft nature, and you get that texture in this perfume, and it's so beautiful. Also, lily of the valley and a white musk, like they just go hand in hand. And yeah, this is just like a very ethereal fragrance, and I love ethereal florals, and this is that. So beautiful. Love the minty top with the little flower. This is his only fragrance at the moment. I hope that he comes out with more, because I think he's so great at creating fragrances. Let's see who the actual perfumer was, if it shows that. It doesn't say. But I'm sure Tyler the Creator had a lot of creative direction, and it's a beauty. It's a beauty. So next up is the one that I love to pair, and this is Burst from Universal Flowering. I actually have the travels of both of these, and these tend to be in my personal times. So this is kind of like my signature scent pairing, and I finally have a full bottle of this. It's so good and so unique. Yeah, once you hear the notes, you'll know what I'm talking about. But this is almost like this color. This color is what you're getting. But this is a fragrance that you have to wear on your skin because it takes you on a journey. This is a fragrance with a lot of texture. I talk about texture a lot, but you just have to smell it to get what I'm saying. I haven't even been reading the accords. I guess I should. Let's start now. The accords to burst is green, citrus, fruity, sweet, fresh, spicy, fresh, musky, bitter, and aromatic. Now, they describe this as an aromatic, fruity fragrance. I would agree. And Courtney Refuse is the perfumer and the owner of Universal Flowering. So the notes are yuzu, apple, pencil, coral limestone, rhubarb, and musk. Oftentimes rhubarb can be quite tart and could also bring in a little bit of bitterness to a fragrance. The pencil and the coral limestone, I think what they're giving to this fragrance is, again, texture. And when I say texture, I mean chalkiness. It's giving, in this particular fragrance, it's giving a chalky texture that I love. It's kind of pixelated, chalky. This fragrance is uplifting with the yuzu. It's fresh with the apple, it's bright. And the rhubarb adds to that like sour, bitter, tart quality. So it's very, very unique. When you initially spray this, you definitely smell the yuzu and the apple. And then as it really settles into your skin, you start to feel and smell the texture. There's nothing gross about this. It doesn't smell like a literal pencil or like a literal coral limestone, because what does that even smell like? I don't know. But yeah, the yuzu and the rhubarb and the musk are kind of the star of the show. But without the pencil and the coral limestone, we wouldn't have burst. It would just be like a generic fruity musk. So, Universal Flowering, a lot of their scents kind of dry down, almost vintagey, and I do get a little bit of a vintage quality in this, and that's not to throw you off. I just find as it dries down, there's like a vintage charm to this. I guess I can kind of compare it to Sortilege by Le Gallion, which that fragrance reminds me of Hermes Cleche, and that fragrance reminds people of Chanel No. 5. This is not giving Chanel No. 5, but guys, get a sample of this. Maybe you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's just like so creative. This is definitely modern. It's definitely modern, but it has like a kiss of that vintage allure, that vintage pixelated musk that some of the oldies have. Let me read what someone says about this. Burst is such an accurate name. The scent literally pops in your nose. Opening is sour, but it's more of a, yes, that's the chalkiness, like a sweet tart. Sweet tart, sour, sweet tart, chalky. Not something sharp and off-putting. As it dries, the sourness mellows into something chalkier. Yes, more subdued. The pencil shavings note grounds everything and adds balance. I don't get any greenness here, just sweet fruitiness. I think the greenness comes from the rhubarb, and some probably wouldn't consider that green. Could be the apple. It's definitely like a green apple. That could also lend to the sourness of this. Just sweet fruitiness. Could still smell this on my skin after a full work day. There's a plane going by, so apologies. But yeah, this is an experience. And I love mixing these two together. Helicopter intermission. I had to hit pause because it got crazy. It was more than just one plane. Actually, it was like 2 helicopters. Okay, so let's actually talk about a fragrance that I would say is green, but it's like a sweet green. This was such a pleasant surprise. I actually picked this up for like $15 at Burlington. Best 15 bucks. Because this is a gem, guys. I believe that this is discontinued too. So if you see this, pick it up. It's good. And for $15, I mean, you could always resell it or just gift it to a friend if you don't like it. But this is Palm Tree Please. Palm Tree Please. And it's from Juicy Couture. So yes, we do have kind of a obnoxious crown cap, but it's giving. And I never thought that I would ever enjoy another Juicy Couture fragrance. They don't quite do it for me anymore. Now, funny enough, I had just finished watching In a Blink of an Eye, and palm trees are kind of a big thing in this movie. And so when I saw this, I instantly thought of that movie. That's just a side note. If you haven't seen that movie, check it out. It's on Hulu. It will make you cry. Fair warning. But let's just go ahead and check out the notes. Palm trees, please. So this is green, white floral, powdery, fruity, woody, musky, sweet, fresh, amber, and yellow floral. And this has green leaves, it has ivy, a little bit of ylang ylang, that's the yellow floral in this. But it smells like palm trees just moving with the breeze of the air. It's very breezy, very airy. There's a sweetness to this. It's very refreshing. So the top notes are lemon blossom, matcha tea, black currant, and nectarine. I think the nectarine definitely gives the sweetness to this fragrance. I'm not a huge fan of black currant, so I can't personally smell the black currant in this, which I'm happy about. I'm not a big fan of like black currant or like berry smells too much. I mean, there's definitely exceptions. The middle notes are green leaves, jasmine, sambuck, ivy, and ylang ylang. And you get all of that in here. And the base notes are angelica, another green note, musk, sandalwood, and labdanum. I also struggle with labdanum. It's a very like intense note for me. I don't get that at all, thank goodness. This is incredibly good, okay? I find like in the dead of heat, this will be the best thing. It's like dousing yourself with the most refreshing cocktail. Love. There is a review in here that I really loved. It's just like one sentence that like nailed it for me. Let's see if I can find it. Someone said, as someone whose collection recently crossed the 700 cents mark, I'll admit I tend to chase the rare, the obscure, or the overly complex niche creation. She said, this scent is a masterclass in unpretentious joy. For those of us who are overloaded with oud and heavy spice, this fragrance is a palate cleanser and the perfect casual green scent. Absolutely. This is green, it's sparkling, it's almost crystalline, not squeaky clean because again there's still sweetness, but it's as refreshing as you would imagine like an aloe vera drink. And so this green is exactly what you smell. Yeah, it's so good. And for a softer green scent, this, like, it lingers on your skin. It's a freshie that stays, and I can really appreciate that because this type of profile tends to be quite fleeting. This is well worth more than $15 in my opinion. I've never smelled, as much as people say this is quite simplistic, I've never smelled anything like this before, so I love it. Let's see, what else? I'm just checking the comments. I typically am not a fan of green scents, but I absolutely love this scent. It's green and fresh, yet luxurious and feminine. I would say that this is, pretty like unisex, as I feel most freshies are, but I get what she means as well, that it's quite feminine, and I think that like ylang ylang note definitely gives that feminine allure and makes it like slightly sensual. So the next one, let me actually just already pull it up. Really excited to share this one. So this is from a house that I really, really adore, and I don't hear many people talking about this house, but this is Lavatorio Olfativo, and this is Bali Flora. I'm addicted and I just can't get enough. This is so good. Okay, so the perfumer is John Claudelina. He is the master of citrus. He is the master of like watercolory scents, if you will. For instance, he makes a lot of the Hardin line from Hermes. So he knows how to make a refreshing scent. I will say that. And this is quite unique because we have both aquatic and tropical meshed together in a beautiful way. We have this lovely like pink lotus note, and I love wearing lotus in the summer. And then we also have frangipani as well. Jasmine is also a key player in this, so it's like floral, white floral, a little tropical. Let's actually look at the main accords. White floral, floral, citrus, tropical, musky, aquatic, and sweet. It's truly gorgeous, one of a kind. Now, guys, first of all, Fragrantica is not really a good site in general. It's very problematic. But what people have to say about this fragrance is just like wrong. Like justice for this fragrance. A lot of people say that this smells like a urinal cake or like an air freshener kind of vibe. I don't get that like at all. But everyone's perception is different, and you know, what I smell could be completely different to someone else's experience because, you know, scent does correlate to experiences in general. So the notes are lotus, frangipani, lily, which I love lily, orange blossom, tangerine, musk, jasmine, and geranium. This musk in here is absolutely enchanting. This is like a water lily fairy. A fairy that lives on a beautiful pond and just basks on lily pads all day. Yeah, this is quite twinkling, and you know, it has that tropical nuance, but without being like overly sunny, overly yellow. This reads more so as like this color of pink, like a pink lotus. So yeah, it's so nice. Let's see what other people have to say about this. And again, a lot of not so good things, I guess. Someone said it's overpowering, which this is so soft, guys. It's so soft. Someone said Bali Flora is a very distinct perfume. I have never smelled anything quite like it. The frangipani and lotus are evocative of something fleeting, an aquatic escape, petals drift, a serenity of sorts. Absolutely, this is peace in a bottle, literally. While I don't see this being a regular in my collection, I do believe this fragrance is for someone. So, I think that they executed it well. I love this. I love this. This is another summer fragrance that I love to wear at bedtime, for bedtime, and pretend I'm a fairy. Yeah, so there's that. I have a lot of fairy fragrances for summer, actually, and for spring. But yeah. Okay. Let's do another affordable. This is also a designer. I wanted to do a little bit of everything. Indie, niche, super, like a affordable cheapies. Like, I would consider this a cheapie, but it's a gem, guys. This is a great designer. It's so classic. I love this. This is is a fragrance that is so beautiful, you want to cry. Like the first time you ever smell this, tears will just come from, tears will just like go down your face instantly. Okay, let's see. Versense by Versace. This is actually my favorite Versace ever. One of my favorite designers as well. I love the shade of green. I love when the juice hints at what it's going to smell like. Is it suggestive? Perhaps, but it works. Versace. So the main accords are citrus, woody, fresh, spicy, aromatic, white floral, powdery, and fresh. Now, I believe people say that this smells like Chanel. I think it's Chanel Eau Fraiche. Let's see if the comparison is here. I've never smelled that one. I have, well, my mother has the Utandra, which is the pink one. The Chance Eau Fraiche from Chanel is the green bottle one. And apparently they do smell very similar. And there is like a very elegant Chanel quality to this. So I can totally see that. Now, the top notes are bergamot, citruses, green mandarin, fig, and pear. The middle notes are cardamom, lily, jasmine, and narcissus, which is dandelion. And then the base notes are Virginia, cedar, musk, olive tree, and sandalwood. There's definitely like a theme with a lot of the notes that I love. But you know, you love what you love. Yeah, this is so soft, so beautiful. Let's see. Someone said, oh, it's in Spanish. No, it's not Spanish. Maybe Brazilian, actually. A very nice fresh scent for warm weather. And yes, this smells like Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche. Very similar but milder, and it disappears quicker. I will say that this isn't beast mode, but on me at least, I still get it wafting in the air. I would say that it's still more of a, you know, close to the skin kind of scent than projecting, which for me, I actually prefer a fragrance that just kind of is for me, if that makes sense. Like I'm not all about like beast mode fragrances. If I can smell it, I'm okay. It starts out obviously quite citrusy, and kind of lime-like. It has that lime quality, even though it's bergamot, citrus, and green mandarin. But we do get that fruity quality from the fig, which is slightly earthy. We also have olive tree that gives a little earthiness to this as well. But overall, it's just like a beautiful green citrus musk, if that makes sense. We have a little bit of depth. I wouldn't quite say spiciness, but a little depth from the cardamom, and the cedar as well is quite beautiful in this. And we have a little bit of like a watery essence from the pear. Yeah, it's so beautiful. This is definitely like more floral than say this one, but I do kind of categorize these as the same, like a citrus green, but this is definitely more floral leaning, I guess, at least in the way that it wears on my skin. This could be quite unisex as well, I would say. But it has a very refreshing quality as well. So if you're looking for something that is fresh and elegant, luminous, nothing that shouts out, this is it. Okay, this does the same thing, but again, it's just much more fruitier. Let's actually do another cheapie. This is also designer, but it's much more cheaper. And I think it's kind of underrated. This line is very underrated in general. And a lot of people do not like this bottle. I don't know why. I think it's iconic. I also love this particular shade of blue, but this is Eternity Air. I don't know if you can see the air. The air is right there. Air. So as the name suggests, this is going to be a very like ozonic perfume. This is one that you could just spray with utter abandonment and not worry that you're gonna overdo it or it's gonna be too cloying. It's just very fresh, ozonic. It has some like citrus components as well, some floral components. This would make like a really good gym scent, I would say. This is just kind of a scent that you put on when you don't know what to wear. You just want something that's just gonna instantly give you a burst of refreshment, similar to like opening the freezer door. It's gonna do just that. I wouldn't say that this is like an icy fragrance. I would have to do like a whole video on icy fragrances because I find those kind of fascinating. But yeah, this one is ozonic, but it's citrus and fruity as well. This has peony, which I love because peony is kind of like a watery floral, similar to lotus. I think they kind of go hand in hand a lot of the times. Yeah, it's so good. It definitely has like the Calvin Klein DNA. So it definitely gives off like 90s vibes, even though I think this came out in the 2000s. Yeah, 2018. I've never smelled the original Eternity. That's crazy. I really want to. I never have. Yeah. So the top notes are ozonic notes, grapefruit, black currant again. Again, I'm not a fan of black currant, but hey, it works in here. Middle notes are peony, pear, lily of the valley. Base notes are musk, cedar, and ambergris. I love a peony, pear, and musk combination. Again, the musk is, like a white musk, clean musk. I love ambergris. Ambergris lends like this salty quality, which is why this is quite ozonic and literally smells like a breeze, like you're having a sailing day without smelling like overly marine, because you still smell the flowers and you could smell the pear. Yeah, it's so nice. Just an easy breezy summer scent. I would say that this is great if like you have a headache and you want to smell like something, but you don't want it to be overly, overpowering or anything. So let's see what people say about this one. Someone said, oh, I hate that I'm obsessed with this. I had low expectations after picking it up at Marshall's last autumn, only for it to become one of my all-time favorites. The bottle just looks so tacky on my dresser. If it was clear, if it was like a clear glass, it would be fine. I love this color though. I love, because it's not Like, it's still see-through. It reminds me of sea glass. I think that's why I love it so much. The scent itself is so beautifully fresh, ozonic, green, aquatic, fruity, and floral. Strikes the perfect balance between sweet and botanical, watery, and ozonic. I love how they said botanical because they're so right. They are so right. Happy it's affordable, as you can douse yourself in this without overdoing it. It's quite light and inexpensive, in my opinion. Yes. Yeah, so if you love the Calvin Klein Musk DNA, this is just, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. Yeah, it's kind of like that, you know, shampoo-y out of the shower scent. And Calvin Klein is just great at doing those like white linen type of scents. Okay, so that is Eternity Air, and we're at an hour almost. Okay, let's see. Let's talk about salty fragrances, and I just want to shout out like my all-time favorite salty fragrance, and it's since been discontinued, and I don't like talking about discontinued fragrances all too much because, you know, they're hard to get and people like to upcharge and all that. This is a discontinued fragrance, guys, but you can still get it for a very good price, so that's why I mentioned it. Check your Burlington, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross. I don't have a Ross. We don't have Rosses, I don't think, in CD, but I could be wrong. Anywho, so back to salty fragrances. This was like my first, I don't know if it was my first, but it was the first fragrance that really made me fall in love with salt in fragrances. And this is from Viktor and Rolf. Okay. You can barely see that, but this is like a gold plate. And it says, oh gosh, you're not going to see it. Salty Flower. Hi. Salty Flower. This was from their Viktor and Rolf Magic collection, which honestly was the best collection that any designer ever created. Ever. Okay, they came out with, I don't know, 7 or 8 different fragrances in this collection in these super cute bottles that look like a potion. They even did like bubble work on the bottle. I don't know if you can see the bubbles. You probably can't. Oh, that makes me so sad because you can't see the bubbles. Anyways, it says Magic on this side, and it says Viktor and Rolf on this side, embossed. Okay, such a cute bottle. So different to anything Viktor and Rolf does now with their like grenade bottles. They still have little, you know. But this is Salty Flower, which they kind of nailed the name because it is a salty flower. One would say there's a lot of fragrances like this, but the way this settles into my skin is like no other. And it truly is the heat of the sun, okay, in the most beautiful way, because again, it's not sunscreen. It's giving literal salty flower. With, yes, a sunscreen essence, but you get my drift. I know a lot of people say that this is like Paco Rabanne, and I couldn't stand that one. That was too much. Actually, headache inducing. I love the floralcy of this one much better. Olympia? Yeah, Olympia from Paco Rabanne. And I mean, if you can't get your hands on that, I would say that is a good one. But it's much more potent. So let's see. The main accords are white floral, floral, citrus, salty, tropical, tuberose, amber, marine, and lactonic. So let's see, the notes here are sea salt, bergamot, and orange blossom at the top. The middle notes are frangipani, jasmine, sambac, and tuberose. And the base notes are ambroxan and moss. And I think that's the game changer, because even though, I don't mind ambroxan. Ambroxan is kind of like a perfume lifter to give it a boost, similar to amberwood, but it makes the scent a bit more stronger, a bit more woodier. But I love moss because it gives it like an earthy quality to it, and this depth that can't be explained. So this is another one that makes your mouth water, because again, we're talking salt here. Let's see what they say. There's a little description here. The new, not so new edition of the Victor and Wild Magic collection is Salty Flower. This came out in 2018 with Salty Flower perfumer Marie Salamagne, S-A-L-A-M-A-G-N-E. I gotta look up that perfumer because what they did here is crazy. So they dealt with the theme of frangipani flowers sprinkled with crystals of sea salt, and thus painted a picture of an exotic landscape, an escape from reality. This composition is fresh, citrus, floral. They use the O word. We do not use the O word. I will just say citrus, floral, amber. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. I guess this kind of has like a little bit of that devotion, like vanilla citrus vibe that Dolce & Gabbana has, or Dolce & Gabbana Devotion has, which I don't really like that fragrance. I had it, I sold it, but because this has that orange blossom, you get a little bit of that creamy citrus vibe, but again, it's not doing too much because I don't really like that. What you get here is that beautiful frangipani, yellow petals, again, salt sprinkled on these yellow petals. Sun rays are just beaming down these beautiful, waxy, lush yellow petals that have somehow a sprinkling of sea salts from the ocean. And, you're getting a little bit of that tuberose, which is a beautiful narcotic white flower. So it's quite a heady floral, but the salt cuts it. So really, really beautiful. It's like a touch of that sunscreen quality, but it never quite gets there. So I love it so much. So that is Salty Flower. It is since discontinued, but I find that there are fragrances that kind of give the same vibe. In fact, this is it's a cheapie but a goodie. This is Love Shack Fancy. This is actually a hair and body perfume mist. This is Velvet Sun. And this is so beautiful. And the notes here are coconut water, ylang ylang, and amberwood. And again, this is very lush. It is golden like the bottle and the juice. It's very yellow and happy and tropical. And even though I don't like amberwood, I don't really smell it all too much. It just kind of gives some balance to the base, as as a woody scent would. But yeah, it's beautiful. It says a heated veil of coconut and flowers. And honestly, this lasts for a very, very long time. So this is one of the few body sprays that are absolutely worth it and a great bang for your buck. So if you like those tropical florals, you would love this. And it's not too coconut either. It's definitely more of like a yellow tropical floral. And it definitely reminds me of salty flower. If you want to just smell like a salty queen, this is more just the salt. This is being Frenchy. This is Serenity and Clarity, and it's just that salty. I believe this is just salt and akagala wood. Let me just double check. They also have like the perfume rollerball. So the main accords are woody, salty, powdery, warm, spicy, oud, marine, and musky. Salty, but being Frenchy, evokes coastal tranquility through the blend of sea salt, creamy sandalwood, and airy musks. Designed to promote serenity and mental clarity, this fragrance draws inspiration from ocean breezes and sun-kissed skin. The composition incorporates upcycled akagala wood and essential oils as part of its clean, vegan formula backed by mood science scent technology. Interesting, because I do believe akagala wood can only be used by Quentin Beach, but I could be wrong. He's a perfumer that like coined akagala wood. He created it. So I don't know if this is like a Quentin Beach creation or what's happening, but gosh, this is so good. Yes, it is very coastal and it does feel very like your skin but better. And it actually feels and smells like salty skin. Like just on paper, not actually on my skin. I can smell the salty skin. It's incredible. This would do well mixed with other fragrances if you want that salty component, but on its own, it's truly magical if it's something that you crave. Some people are saying that this smells like Glossier You and they need to stop. They need to stop, okay? Not everything smells like Glossier You, okay? I kind of get what they mean because it is like your skin but better, but it's so different. Like it's kind of in a league of its own. So this is a woody, salty, fresh laundry scent. I'm a sucker for salt on my food and in my fragrances. This reminds me a bit of those woody, musky, nothing scents, but most of those try my patience. This one has hooked me on the first wearing. So salty. After getting Uswa, which is a Glossier You flanker, I really went down the salty rabbit hole and had been eyeing this one for a while. I thought it would be similar in vibes because salt. Boy, was I wrong, which was good. So she actually says that she loves layering with DKNY Be Delicious, Paris Hilton, Donna Karan Cashmere Mist. She said layering these fragrances with salty was like adding seasoning. It added depth to all of these fragrances, and I'm genuinely excited to bust them out again. So yeah, if there's a fragrance that just feels like it's lacking a little something, maybe it's salty. Maybe it needs some salt. So let's see. She says Frenchie's salty is breathing in cold, salty coastal air in early spring or autumn. It gets a bit Irish Spring bar soap after some time. I don't get that at all. I'm obsessed with Irish Spring bar soap, so much so that I can't have it in my bathroom or else I would want to eat it. Like it smells that good, I want to eat it. I wouldn't do that, but So, I mean, I guess in a sense, like, it has that same unisex appeal. So, I appreciate that it's not a redundant fragrance in my collection in that aspect, and the price allows for some layering experimentation in this economy. Yeah, this is nice. This is nice. The Akagala wood can be a bit much, and I would say that this scent has gotten much stronger as it's kind of maturated in my collection, because whenever you use that atomizer, you're bringing in oxygen to your fragrance and you're maturing your fragrance, which absolutely is a good thing because it does make your fragrances much more richer, deeper, last longer, and I love that. But in this case, I do smell more of that Akagala wood, which isn't my favorite note, so it's a bit of a struggle, but I still love it, and it's a great layering, a super affordable body spray. So another salty fragrance is, I would say, a polarizing fragrance for a lot of people, and this was discontinued for some time and made a lot of people very, very sad. Terry Mugler is now just Mugler, and a lot of their scents have like been slightly reformulated, which I hate when that happens, especially my beloved Alien. I'm an Alien girly, I'm not an Angel girly. The patchouli in Angel smells like a dirty sponge. Okay? Like, some of their flankers are okay, but I can smell that DNA. It's not good. Now, this is, I believe, a fragrance that has come back, but as Mugler, not Terry Mugler. So I've never tried the original. Apparently, this has not been changed though. So when I say original, I just mean before they changed the name. The bottle though, this is Womanity, by the way. Womanity. And this is a fig fragrance. It is a salty fragrance. It is a marine fragrance. It is a mermaid fragrance. Okay. And it has a caviar note. Some people like to exaggerate on that and say it smells fishy. What? No, it doesn't. Yes, it has a caviar note, but I think that's just what lends the salt. Anyways, the bottle is stunning with the little goddess face, I guess. All of Terry Mugler's bottles are just works of literal art. This is no exception. The juice is pink, which is an indicator that this is like a newer bottle of Womanity, because a lot of the older bottles, the juice is now golden as it has matured, maturated. So, I love fig, so I have been wanting to try this for, I thought I sprayed this one, for a very long time, and I'm glad I have it in my collection finally. Yeah, so why is this polarizing? Because it's salty, because it's slightly briny. Now, smelling this on paper and smelling this on skin are kind of two different things. And if you're just spraying this on paper, as I'm doing now, even though I've sprayed this on my skin, you're doing a disservice. It's much more brinier, it's much more potent on paper than it is on skin. But that fig in here is absolutely beautiful. I would describe this definitely more marine than aquatic. So I think of aquatic as like softer. We're talking like soft aquatic florals. Marine is more like the waves are crashing salty water is getting on your face. You're not by the sea. You're in the sea, you know? You're one with the ocean. You're one with the ocean. So the main accords are woody, fruity, savory, animalic, green, sweet, nutty, fresh, marine, and lactonic. And the notes are fig, caviar, fig tree, and fig leaf. Now I want to say that either the fig leaf or fig tree is resulting in that like nutty side of this fragrance, but it's ever so slightly. It's just kind of like all the fragrance notes mesh together. On my skin, it's definitely more nutty, and that's just initially though. As it settles, you're getting more of that juicy fig and salty component. There's nothing listed that is actually marine, like ocean, water, or anything like that. But these notes combined truly do that. Okay, let's see what people have to say about this one. I'm going to read a very negative one. One word, revolting. I ordered this last week from Mugler, so no question over authenticity. Sprayed and thought it was acceptable at first. In the afternoon, I sprayed again before going out. I continuously gagged for the half an hour I was, or hour and a half that I was away, and had to jump in the shower the moment I got home. It is sour, green, moist, salty, and with a touch of something nutty. I thought about framing the bottle as I love the design, but just the sight of it makes me nauseous. Absolutely horrendous. This is one you do have to test. I love it. The thing about Mugler is that he does not make conventional scents. I mean, he used to. The direction has changed. He does make a lot of mass appealing scents, a lot of people pleasers, crowd pleasers. But before, he would make very obscure, challenging fragrances. You know, Mugler was for the weirdos. Mugler was for the weirdos. And I find it very charming. I don't want to smell like an orange creamsicle or a marshmallow. I want to smell a little different, you know, like what are you wearing? But I don't wear perfumes, so, you know, people say I smell good. That's a bonus. But this smells good though. Like, I love it. But I also can see and smell that it is a little different. It's not for everybody. It's just not going to be for everybody. If you love it, you will be absolutely addicted to it. If you hate it, you will be, you know, repulsed by it. So there's no middleman in this. What can I say? Perfection. I love the bottle and it just makes me happy when I spray it. Top notes don't last too long, but then it settles into a fresh sea breeze, fruity but not too sweet. Complimented many times when I wear this. I started with the L's variant. That was one that was like easier to find. It was a flanker. I believe that one has strawberry. An easier to wear fragrance, a very successful blind buy, as Womanity isn't for everyone. It's a seriously different fragrance that I can't get enough of. I would say this is just one that, like, at the very least, get a decant of it. It's going to be easier to find. I think that it's coming out, or some say that they come out in like certain times of the year. I don't know. I saw that it was available. I grabbed it. This has been like a wish list scent for a long time, and I wasn't really willing to pay like the crazy amounts that people were asking for on eBay. Like, I can't do it. So I got a full bottle of it for a very good, reasonable price. Okay, the next salty fragrance is one that is definitely much more crowd pleasing, although some people have some words about it as well. Okay, so we have this one here. This is Jean Paul Gaultier, and this is Divine, the original. They have since came out with a couple flankers. I think this was quite successful, but also a little polarizing as well, as it is another like salty fragrance. It's also a Quentin Biche creation, and a lot of his fragrances are they're sharp. They could be very beast mode, and they're just like all claws in your face a lot of the time. And so there's really nothing ever like soft about his fragrances. They're like one-hit wonders, okay? And I have a love and hate relationship with Quentin Biche as a perfumer. I get why he's so popular because, you know, beast mode fragrances are very, very in these days, and a lot of his fragrances are very, very modern, okay? And I do believe that he has created a lot of modern masterpieces. You know, for instance, Delina, that is Quentin Biche. Valaya, that is Quentin Biche. So, Tilia as well, Quentin Biche. So he knows how to make a very popular fragrance. I love the bottle of this. I think it's gorgeous. I'm just using this now, so I haven't really gotten into the bigger bottle, but the bottle is beautiful. Let me actually spray this. That's what vanity. Okay. Now this is a salty floral as well. This is going to be Lily, which is what drew me to this fragrance, as I love lily in fragrances. Not lily of the valley, lily. Like Casablanca lily, white lilies. This is Willy Meringue and Salt. And this is also kind of like aquatic marine. Again, there's like a fierceness to this fragrance because it's Quentin Biche. You know, his DNA is all over this. But it does soften. It does soften, probably because of that lily. Or maybe because of the meringue, because it has that like slightly gourmand quality without being too much. So I guess you could consider this like a salty Flormant, if you will. So the main accords are white floral, sweet, aquatic, marine, aromatic, powdery, yellow floral, salty, musky, and woody. Let's see. Is there more than just 3 notes? I believe there is. The top notes are Calypsone, which is like a watermelony aquatic note. We have bergamot and red berries at the top. The middle notes are lily, ylang ylang, and jasmine, which give a little bit of an aquatic, sorry, not aquatic, a tropical edge with the ylang ylang. And then the base notes are meringue, musk, and patchouli. And the patchouli has to be similar to Akagala wood, perhaps. So you get a little bit of that sharpness. Yeah. Very Quentin Biche coated. It's gorgeous. there was something going around TikTok where people were saying that this smelled like rotten egg. I don't know what they're talking about. My guess, they could be talking about it smelling a bit sulfuric, which I could see that, but not egg. So let's see. Let's go ahead and read a review. Beautiful summer floral. This one is reminiscent of the 90s. White floral, amber, aquatic melon in the background. Think Escape by Calvin Klein or Wings by Giorgio Beverly Hills. Lasting power is similar to vintage perfume too. Highly, highly recommend. I never really correlated this to like a vintage perfume, but I can see what she means. Fresh, slightly sweet, and office floral, delicate, feminine, and unique. This is not delicate. People, the whole office will smell you. This is very projecting. This is my go-to for work. A nice, fresh, mature floral. I barely need to spray more than 2 to 3 sprays. It's very strong and can last. Literally love it so much. Someone said, really dislike the smell of the synthetic musk base. That's Quentin Beach. Yes. It's scratchy, it tickles my nose, and gave me a headache. Quentin Beach's perfumes always have something scratchy to me, overly synthetic. And I do agree. And I think that's why a lot of people love this, because they enjoy that aspect. And maybe for them it's not reading as scratchy. I don't know. But I do get that too, but I still love it. So this is just an instant love, honestly, an instant love. And I actually found this little travel size at TJ Maxx, and that's when I knew, oh, she good. Okay. I think I did all of my salty scents. Let's move on to some yellow florals. Yes. Or just like narcotic summery florals. So this is Heretic Angel's Trumpet. I had a decan of this and I just instantly fell in love with it. Also one that I love to wear for bed. I don't know. But Angel's Trumpet, there's a whole collection that Heretic did, and it's based on night blooming narcotic florals. But I believe Angel's Trumpet is actually Datura. I think they're kind of like the same thing. Let me pull up this fragrance. When I initially sprayed this for the first time, it kind of reminded me of Juicy Fruit bubblegum, that like bright yellow juiciness. And I thought it was fun, but also sensual. It's very sunny and uplifting, but again, it has that sensual quality. So there's something that is also perfect for nighttime wear. So it's kind of like a perfect scent for all occasions, really. Angel's Trumpet. So the main accords are white floral, floral, yellow floral, sweet, woody, aromatic, aquatic, and ozonic. The notes are freesia, hyssop, and geranium. So those are the top notes. Hyssop is a purple floral, and I guess it kind of smells camphorous and a little sharp and aromatic. The middle notes are tiara flower, ylang ylang, jasmine, and water lily. And the base notes are violet leaf and vetiver. The violet leaf, along with the water lily, offers that aquatic vibe. So, you know, we have, again, a mixture of heady tropical florals like ylang ylang, terry flower, and then you're getting these super light, fresh florals like violet leaf. I also love freesia as well because the freesia in this is actually like a green freesia, so again, very fresh and uplifting. Everything about this is so beautiful. This is a stunning fragrance. It's quite creamy, it's intoxicating, it's fresh but lush. There's a slight waxiness to this, and although it is fresh, there's also like a slight powderiness to this, even though powder is not really listed, and it's nothing too overly powder either. But some people actually say that this smells a little bit like fricas, so it has definitely that tuberose essence that fricas is known for, but there's no tuberose listed in this, which is kind of insane. When I first smelled this, I thought tuberose. This is a tuberose fragrance, and I've been very enchanted by tuberose because this was the flower that I couldn't stand at one point. And so what did I do? I purchased a bunch of tuberose samples and tried to figure it out. Like, why don't I like this? And honestly, I think tuberose reminds me of a family member in my life that I'm not too keen on, and they used to wear Design. I don't know the designer name, but it's literally called Design. It's an older fragrance from like the 90s or 80s with like a burgundy cap. I'll have to put it somewhere around here. Kind of like grapey, bubblegummy tuberose, if you know, you know. And so I couldn't get down with it for a very long time. It gave me trauma, but now I really love it. This is such a very like happy scent. Someone said, Angel's Trumpet is my first encounter with Heretic, and I am in utter admiration. I love how they say that this is slightly cold. Again, I'm pretty sure it's from the violet leaf. You know, there's a mixture of cold florals and warm florals in here, and I love that juxtaposition. So, dewy, soft jasmine. I often steer clear of white florals, but this changed my perspective, and I love that. Someone said this is a work of art, well deserving of its praise. It's dense, it's fleshy, and kind of dirty in a sensual way. I agree with Sheherazad's thoughts. Oh, that's the comment below. A sexy, full-bodied yellow floral that illustrates a midnight stroll in a palace garden surrounded by ethereal night blooming flowers. This lives up to its name. So we gotta read the other comment. It says, dark, delicious, dusky white floral, warm, intriguing, languidly sensual, intoxicating in a good drink buzz sort of way. That libidinous, anticipatory feeling when you know the intimacy is going to be really good. Okay. Yeah. This is like very feminine energy to its core. Again, you can wear anything. It doesn't matter. But, yeah. There's something that feels very like stripped, like you're in your birthday suit. Not that it smells naked per se, like the body parts, but it feels so lush and sensual that it feels stripped in that way, like you're naked at the beach with a lover perhaps, or in a night blooming garden. It's really beautiful, but there's like a giggly quality to this as well. Like, it's sensual, but there's something very like happy, uplifting, giddy. I don't know, a good time, I guess. I love it. Now, that collection has two other fragrances, one focusing on, I believe, jasmine, and the other one focusing on tuberose, which, funnily enough, yeah, this smells like tuberose. Okay, next up, okay, I'm excited to whip this one out. So my sweet sister-in-law and my brother, on their honeymoon in Italy, they came back with this bottle. They love me. They really love me. And they know me. So this is Nobile 1942 Casta Diva. This was practically a year ago, and I haven't really put use to it because it was getting kind of cold when I received this, and now we're in full summer, so I'm definitely going to whip this one out. This also, I believe, has like frangipani or plumeria. Let's look it up. But what I love about this one is that there's like a green verdancy in this one. That is very different. Very, very different. Let me spray this one. I love their bottles. It's very, very Italian at its core. This cap is so heavy too. And I had a bottle of, not this scent, but I had a bottle of a Nobile 1942 perfume. It was the like viral apple scent, but it just wasn't for me. I didn't like how it dried down on me. This one, however, yes, as I'm like obsessed with yellow florals as of lately. Even before summer hit, I was diving into these yellow florals so hard. So the main accords are floral, yellow floral, white floral, tropical, fruity, lactonic, sweet, vanilla, citrus, and green. Emphasis on that green though. It's like a bitter green. Like, it's very nice. It's similar to like the salt in Salty Flower. It cuts a lot of that sweetness and headiness that this fragrance could have. So let's see. Casta Diva is a fragrance that resonates like a celestial voice. Its pure and flowery notes rise up towards to the bright blue sky and explode high up with frangipani and osmanthus. Casta Diva is a fragrance for a woman who likes the celestial body, creates an irresistible energy around herself, a force of attraction that creates both balance and revolution with her natural and innate ascendant on the people who gravitate around her. What? I love that. So the top notes are ylang ylang, green notes. Middle notes are frangipani, osmanthus, jasmine, and roly. And the base notes are vanilla, musk, amber, and oak moss. This is so very well balanced, as I'm not like a huge fan of neroli. I do smell the neroli, but you definitely smell the osmanthus a bit more, which brings out this apricot-y, fruity nuance to this fragrance without there ever being any fruits, which is quite nice. I also smell a lot of the musk and the vanilla. The dry down makes it a bit more creamier, a bit more sweeter, slightly gourmand, almost gourmand-like, but not quite. But the ylang ylang and the frangipani are, yeah, they're big stars of this fragrance because this is very much a yellow floral more than anything else. This is elegant. It's very luxurious. On the back here, it says imbottigliato per Ole Parfum Rome. So I believe that's the store that they purchased this at, and it even says handmade in Italy. So let's see. Casa Diva is an extremely pretty luminous yellow-green floral with enough darker notes in the base to prevent it from ever becoming merely frivolous. A perfect spring/summer scent. I love it. Casa Diva is such a lovely, bright, optimistic scent. This is the diva in her youth playing and singing in the Italian sunshine. A beautiful ylang ylang frangipani and sparkling green fragrance. Yes, absolutely. You cannot spray this on yourself and not have a smile on your face. This is definitely happiness in a bottle. And so is the next one. So this is actually from my favorite perfumer. This is the Sun card from Marissa Zappis. This is another frangipani fragrance. And this is kind of different though in how it dries down, because this has a lovely hay note. And the hay note lends like a very unique texture to this fragrance. This is much softer than Casa Diva. This is more of like a skin scent, I would say. This is floral, citrus, tropical, green, powdery, like tonic, vanilla, fresh, spicy, herbal, and almond. The bottle is so pretty. I love Marissa Zappis' bottles. She has had several different bottles throughout her time as a perfumer, and she's settled with this one. I have loved all of the bottles that she has ever created. I love the vintage essence that her bottles always have. Now, the notes are top notes of heliotrope, sweet orange, and spicy notes. The middle notes are frangipani and hay, and the base note is amber. Marissa Zappis makes beautiful amber base notes. She has another scent called Queen Zinga, which is a amber base fragrance similar to like Shalimar. But that one has a beautiful tamarind note. So she always has very unique notes in her fragrances that make her fragrances just stand out. But there is a very Marissa Zappis like DNA through and through. If you smell her fragrances, then going forward, you will always know. Her DNA is always utter perfection to me because she meshes modern with vintage, and I love that. So if you smell a couple of Marissa Zappis's, you will know her DNA. So stunning. The heliotrope in here is gorgeous. It does lend that like almond quality. It's creamy. Heliotrope can also be like quite lotiony. Yeah, this is a very like optimistic, happy scent, but there's a softness to this as well. It's almost lotion-like too. Let's see what people have to say about this one. Yellow, creamy floral, just like frangipani. This smells as if you crushed the milky petals between your fingers, and the sweet smell it produces from the bush in summer bursts around you. At first, before I knew the notes, I thought this was a yellow floral, something like osmanthus or dandelion or even mimosa, which I can totally get that, especially in the opening. You definitely get that citrus in the opening. The spices are there to give like a little kick, a little texture to the fragrance to kind of amplify the other notes. It kind of like tickles your nose a little bit. Back to the comment. At first, before I knew the notes, I thought this was like a yellow floral with jasmine and a milk / cream / butter accord. Very happy, bright, pure, sunny fragrance. Up close, it is very herbal, like a chamomile tea that you realize you just poured milk into. Not for me personally, but I am so happy to have tried it. I don't really get any tea in this. I've come to realize that I'm not a huge fan of tea fragrances. I like them, but they're not a go-to for me. Oftentimes it could be a little too astringent as they settle on my skin. I don't really get any tea in here. I just get like a fuzzy hay accord, definitely. And this also can come across as like osmanthus, which also can be very tea-like. So I do get that. But yeah, it's very, very, very beautiful. This is another one that if you want to, lean into those yellow summery florals, this would be great without going, sunscreen territory. Someone else said, oh my gosh, this smells delicious. I've never smelled plumeria before. I live on the east coast of the US, but it smells like a tropical summery floral with a bit of sweet orange. My skin turns everything pretty sweet, but it's not cloying. There's also something quite polleny, that's definitely the hay, that makes it perfect for spring. I didn't absolutely love the spicy opening, but it dissipated within the first 5 minutes. The spicy opening kind of reminds me of Flaming Creature from Mrs. Zappis as well. Flaming Creature has like this orange ring pop accord with some spice to it. Also Ginseng, if I'm saying that correctly, that's another one from Mrs. Zappis, which has like a spicy accord. I like her spicy accords because they're quite soft. And again, they just kind of blend like this really cool texture. But yeah, I know that spicy accords are not for everyone. But that is that. Next up, okay, I wore this like 2 days in a row last week and I couldn't stop smelling myself. Now I know Miami Glow is like the epitome of summer. It's a beautiful summer cheapie, but I just love this one. I don't want to say I love it more. I love it equally. J.Lo makes incredible fragrances. I don't know what else to say. Like, bangers. Now, apparently, she made this to replicate a fragrance that, like, is her secret signature fragrance. And a lot of people have said that it's China Rain. I don't know the company. I think it was discontinued. I'm not quite sure. But it was, like, very popular in New York. She's a New Yorker. And she kind of took credit essentially because this got super hyped, and not everyone knows that this is essentially a dupe of China Rain, I think. So I love this. I don't know too much about China Rain, but I would love to get my nose on that one because obviously it's the original. This does so much better on skin than it does on paper. On paper, it's like abrasive and it could smell like toilet cleaner-esque. But on skin, oh my gosh, it shines. It truly does. I'm pretty sure this has a ton of notes. I haven't looked up J.Lo Glow in a long time. The main accords are white floral, citrus, musky, powdery, rose, floral, and animalic. I actually love an animalic accord because I love what it does to your skin. It just, it makes your skin smell just more lived in a good way, I guess. But this is super clean. And yeah, a lot of people love it for the summer. So this was actually the first fragrance that JLo has ever made. It was created by Louise Turner, which is like a master perfumer. The top notes are neroli, orange blossom, and grapefruit. The middle notes are jasmine, rose, and tuberose. And the base notes are musk, sandalwood, orris root, amber, and vanilla. I don't know. It's just so nostalgic. My mom used to wear this. And so, I don't know. I think of my mom in her youth. I still think of her as super young, by the way. But yeah, like my mom in her youth, as in I'm still living with my mom. I'm a teenager myself. And simpler times. Let's see what people say about this one. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. I bought it just out of curiosity and I do not regret it at all. It's cheap, but the scent gives me the feeling of a hot summer day when you come home from work all sweaty, take a shower, and instantly feel clean and refreshed. That feeling is exactly what this fragrance smells like to me. Yeah, it's a perfect out of the shower scent. Apparently, I like a few perfumes that Louise Turner has been the nose for and didn't realize it. Glow was the first. I remember smelling it years ago, loving it, and then letting it completely slip my mind until recently. I love the bright grapefruit and warm white florals. There's almost a soapy element. There's definitely a soapy element. Like a bright citrusy body wash. Though this isn't aldehydic, the warmth of the sandalwood and orris at the base also rounds it out quite beautifully. Unfortunately, it does seem as though either some component of the fragrance formula has changed or my nose has changed, because there is an underlying lotion scent that becomes overpowering if you spray too much. I mean, I don't really, to me, it's true to how it used to smell, but I don't know. I love, but I do love lotiony scents as well, so maybe I don't really see that as a con, but yeah, so good. A good soapy floral. Now this is a modern soapy floral by a new house. This is Glass Wing by River Barrow. I think they've only come out or launched 2 fragrances so far, but oh my goodness, this is a beaut. I got this also at Stell. Let's see if I can pull up the notes for this. This smells like, again, like it's a pond fairy scent. It smells like crystalline waters. It smells like water lilies or like lilacs after the rain. It has like this 90s essence to it, or early 2000s essence to it, but still somehow being quite modern. The staying power of this is actually really, really great as well for like a freshie. It's so incredible. So this is main course of floral, fresh, ozonic, fruity, green, sweet, and aquatic. So Glass Wing is a fruity floral composition with airy, translucent nuances. Juicy honeydew melon and pear introduce a fresh and succulent opening, joined by raspberry for a soft, sweet accord. Lilac, mimosa, and water hyacinth contribute a gentle floral character with watery facets. White ambergris and ambrette adds a musky, slightly mineral depth. Sandalwood and a mountain air accord anchor the fragrance with a light, woody, and atmospheric base. Yes to all of that. This is incredible. My daughter, actually, my oldest daughter, she sometimes comes down, picks the fragrance to wear, and we were, I think, it was a concert, and she decided to wear this, and it was just in the air, guys, but beautiful. Like, there was just like a soft trail of this, And yeah, this is a fragrance that kind of takes your breath away. It's so beautiful. It literally smells like the freshest air, but you could smell flower petals around you. And again, you're getting like a misting of water from some sort of magical water source. Yeah, it's beautiful. I don't really get any like woody, well, I mean, slightly sandalwoody, I guess. But definitely the ambergris shows up. And again, lends like that mineralic quality. I wouldn't say it's like too salty or salty at all, because ambergris tends to do that. But ambergris makes that mountain air chord so much more like photorealistic. So really beautiful. I love it. It's so unique, so special. So I got this at Stell. So that is a new perfumer, new house. Love. And you definitely, I should mention, you definitely smell the honeydew. Yeah. You have to love melony type of scents, because this is like a very photorealistic honeydew melon. Juicy honeydew melon. Okay, so I'm just making sure. I was gonna do travel sizes, but I don't even know, because it's too long, guys. So this is Miu Miu. This is Fleur de Lat. This is a slightly lactonic fragrance, but the lactonic quality is actually coconut milk, so it's like a summery lactonic fragrance. It's so beautiful. I believe this is mango. And sometimes I struggle with mango in perfumery. It could be a little funky and a bit BO-ish. You don't get that. You do not get that with this. Okay. Now, I believe this is a flanker. The original is just, yeah, it's Miu Miu Mutine. So I don't know if this would be considered a flanker, but Fleur de Lat from Miu Miu. The main accords are fruity, tropical, sweet, coconut, floral, lactonic. We have, what does that say? Terpenic? Interesting. And vanilla. So the notes are mango, osmanthus, and coconut milk. This isn't overly sweet at all. It has that lotiony quality as well. And this is another one that I love to wear for bedtime because it's soft. It's creamy, slightly fruity. Nothing about this is doing too much. This is one that's more close to the skin, so it doesn't project as much. So I think some people may not be too happy with that. It's definitely, you know, it's soft. It's like a coquettish summer scent. Very girly. Yeah. Light, powdery, almost pleasant, but goes a tad musty on me. Overall pretty, nondescript. Someone else said, I would wear this all year long, all year long, all day, all night. It's that delicious. It's also the only perfume that my husband has smelled on me and immediately went, oh, that is so good. You must have it. The chemistry between my skin and FDL is crazy because it really pulls creamy, very soft, decadent mango that isn't bright juicy but more nectar juicy, drenched in thick lactonic milkiness. The Osmanthus generally pulls its weight on delivering the musky charm of sticky rice while still balancing the mango sweetness with a delicate black tea-like vapor. I think that's the difference for reviews who said they can't see the sticky rice in this. I mean, I guess for me, sticky rice would have to be much more starchier, much more dense than this. And it's a whisper of electronic creaminess than it is starchiness. I love a rice scent, but I don't get rice in this. I get the toppings of like a sweet ricey dessert. Less hours on me, especially the beautiful Osmanthus, gorgeous arm's length projection that doesn't become cloying. Yeah. Someone said that they reckon this could get sour fast in a humid, BO-inducing environment. I don't really get that. Everything balances so nicely. I wore this in quite a hot day, and it's so soft. It's so soft. Yeah, so it does work well in the heat, in my opinion. The bottle is also quite gorgeous. It is a designer, but I love some of my designers, and I think this is a beautiful approach to a lactonic fragrance, especially one for the summer. Now, the most controversial fragrance of them all this year, I dare say, and probably one of my favorite fragrance launches of this year. I don't have backups of fragrances, but this is a fragrance that I absolutely would get a backup of. I'm not lying. No one paid me. So many people have said, oh my gosh, you're not transparent. Tell people you get these fragrances for free, or you get paid to talk about these fragrances. What? Honey, I wish, but that's not the case. You know, fragrance companies don't tend to take ASMR artists seriously in terms of like influencer status, marketing status. You guys know that Sylvain Delacour and Fulton & Work are the two fragrance houses that actually have sent me a free bottle, and I've been nothing but transparent about those two brands. But since then, I have not gotten any free bottles. I also, for a bit, and would like to go back, but you know, I have a fragrance TikTok channel. I haven't been active there. That's a whole other thing, but I don't get free stuff. Okay, so all this is for money. These are my honest opinions. If I have bottles of them, it's because I genuinely like them. That's it. I'm a crazy fragrance person. That's it. And I'm constantly rotating my collection because in order to bring fragrances in, I have to have fragrances go out. So I'm constantly selling, getting new bottles, and that's just the name of the game. Wanting to try new fragrances, and in this economy, that's how I have to do it. Anywho, and that's when we were there. Huda Easy Bake Intense. First of all, the bottle I love. Some people hate the bottle. I love a frosted bottle in general. I always have. I love the simplicity of this. I love the mystery of this because there's not like an obnoxious logo. This is Huda's brand, so it actually says Huda. And this is not the Kayali brand. Kayali and Huda are two separate brands. Monocoton is Huda's sister. They once did work together. They no longer. They are separate entities. And Huda created, well, the first Easy Bake perfume. It became super viral, in fact, and pretty popular, and it's really well coveted, but for some reason it's discontinued. I don't know, because possibly the ingredients were just much too expensive to make. You know, there's many reasons why a fragrance gets discontinued, not just because they just wanted to do it. Sometimes it just gets too expensive, or regulations change, things like that. So they kind of have to pivot. So we have the Easy Bake Intense. As a lover of makeup scents in general, like I love fragrances that smell like makeup, be it powder or lipstick. This is a hit for me. This to me smells like the Easy Bake powder. I have the Easy Bake powder. It smells very similar to it. And I have always said that that scent smelled very similar to my number one fragrance of all time. I'll have to do like a top 10 at one point, but my number one fragrance of all time is Ex Nihilo Sweet Morphine. I said it. And this kind of smells just like it. Not just like it, but it has like a similar essence to it. This is a cherry fragrance, but it's a fresh cherry. Cherry gets such a bad rep. I don't know why. I love cherry in fragrances. It's so good to me. This is not a medicinal cherry. Now, the controversy of this fragrance is laughable. Laughable to me. Let me pull up the fragrance first. Okay. Now, some will actually say that this is not a summer fragrance at all, and you know, it's all opinion and perception, but I think it is because it's very soft. It's very soft. It sits close to the skin. It's not beast mode. It's not heavy projection, which I personally like. Again, I like a little bubble around me of scent. I don't need the whole Walmart to smell my fragrance. I really don't. Like, what's the point in that? I want everyone else to smell their own fragrance, you know? Like, let's let other people enjoy their fragrance. So, anyway, but they classify this as a floral fruity gourmand. The controversy of this fragrance is that we have a very popular perfume influencer by the name of Daniel Rene, and he said that this smelled like fish and feet. If that's the case, I guess sign me up, because to me that smells good. This smells so good. It's very intoxicating. I believe this was like $79 for a 50 ml bottle, which is incredible. Again, for these, you know, elevated prices in perfume, it's just outrageous. It's very hard to love perfume these days because fragrances are so expensive. So I think that she did great in terms of pricing this fragrance. It's well more than what she's pricing it for, let's just say that. But the Manicores are white floral, cherry, sweet vanilla, cinnamon, caramel, warm spicy, and electronic. Let's see. The top notes are cherry. The middle notes are white flowers, cinnamon, caramel, and milk. And the base note is vanilla. So on me, I definitely can smell the white florals. Now, the white florals are not specified, but to me, to my nose, I feel like there has to be some gardenia in here. Possibly jasmine, like jasmine gardenia combo with a very fresh cherry. There's just like an essence of cinnamon. It's nothing too abrasive. And there's a touch of caramel to add a little bit of a slight sticky sweetness. But again, perfect for the summer because it's just a touch, a whisper of caramel, and a whisper of milk or like tonic quality. The vanilla in here, as someone who I could do without vanilla, this is beautiful. I love the vanilla. I love the vanilla in here because it wafts, it dances in the air so beautifully. And yeah, it is powdery because it's meant to evoke the same feeling as the Easy Bake powder. A lot of people were upset that this was not as gourmand and they didn't like that it was powdery, knowing that the whole point is that this is meant to be similar to the Easy Bake powder. So I don't really get that. It's gorgeous on paper, even better on skin. This is one, again, that's not super heavy. So is it something that you may have to spray a couple times throughout the day? Yes. But it's well worth it because it's stunning. Oh my gosh, Jose loves this as well. Like, he loves this. Yeah, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. Let's see. What do people have to say about it? I'm scared. Hello, my friends. Surprisingly good at start. A really good mix of sweet cherry and cinnamon vanilla scent with a fresh, flowery vibe. Good projection and longevity. And as the time was passing, the white flowers took place to the end, which made it a little bit dated, but overall it's a good conception. I'm okay with it smelling a little outdated, which I don't really get, but because it smells like powder is associated with vintage perfumery, and this smells like, you know, a compact powder. Loose powder in her case, but gorgeous. It doesn't smell bad. It smells familiar maybe because of the obvious note of cinnamon and cherry. Milk to me always feels rancid, period, to my nose. It is what it is. I don't get that. I don't get any sour milk. When people say milky like tonic, aka sour milk, hot milk, I don't get that. But I don't mind like tonic, but without the cinnamon. I don't get not fluffy, gourmand, absolutely no. I get mature women. Too bad it just wasn't Easy Bake because I love that one, but it's her fragrance choice. I cannot compare it to the original Easy Bake. I believe the original Easy Bake was much more potent, so a lot of people are like, why did you call this intense when it's much more softer than the original? Which that I do get. This is more like Easy Bake Soleil, Easy Bake Sheer, which wouldn't be a bad thing, but I think because people are so honed into these like heavy projecting scents, something called sheer is not really a trigger word that would make people purchase, I guess. It's not very marketable these days, but yeah, it's definitely more a whisper, but it's so lovely. This is kind of a funny comment, but kind of, I'm not gonna read all of it. Danielle Renee owes Huda Kattan and Hamid Muradi Kashani a giant public apology, period. The way Renee tried to poison this launch is so childish and mean-spirited. I'm so disappointed. Massive, I'm not gonna say what they said because he wasn't part of Huda's campaign. So allegedly, yeah, he was invited to the campaign. And maybe that's why he said what he said. I don't know. Perfume is, yeah, is subjective, so. But I love this. Hands down, would get a backup of this, especially since I don't know what's gonna happen to this scent. I hope it does well because it's one of my favorites from my entire collection. Yeah. This is one you will never see in my Macari graveyard, like never. I have a gnat flying around. I have 2 jumping spiders as pets. And so we do have a little escape artist, and those are the gnats flying around. I love jumping spiders, guys. That's a whole other thing. Anyways, I was gonna do travel sizes, but you know what? you guys are tired of me. But I did want to quickly talk about Power of You. Power of You is another fragrance that is quite polarizing. It's a newer fragrance. This is a passion fruit fragrance with a vanillic dry down. So kind of fruity gourmandish, if you will. The bottle is so cute. I just have like the little tiny bottle. Okay, I'm not gonna say you don't need it. Maybe you need a full size. I don't need a full size of this because it is a beast mode fragrance and I have to be in the mood for this, but it is a tropical delight. Okay, and they did their thing with it. I can understand why it is polarizing. At first I wasn't sure about it because the aroma chemicals used to make these tropical fruits are often associated with smelling like body odor, like armpit, like sweat. And so some people get that with this. So let's see. Power of You. So I just went for the travel size. Look at the juice. The juice says it all too. This is tropical, vanilla, sweet, fruity, citrus, fresh, floral, powdery, and amber. I'm always checking this mic because, honey, you never know. We're almost done anyways. The top notes are passion fruit, bitter orange, lemon. The middle notes are frangipani, solar notes. And the base notes are Madagascar, vanilla, benzoin, and labdanum. Okay. I guess people are saying that this smells like Love Hibiscus from Amouage, which is one of their newer fragrances from their like Love collection, where they choose a flower and they represent that flower with a fragrance. They have like lilac, tuberose. I think they have an osmanthus, which is like Love Delight. But yeah, they have a couple so far. Cherry blossom as well. So let's see. The base of this is gorgeous, but I'm not crazy about the rest of it, which is a basic POG juice, passion fruit, orange juice, and guava combined. It doesn't smell bad, although it does get that BO urine thing due to the passion fruit, but it's just not moving me like all these incentivized influencers. Test before you buy, right? Test before you buy, if you can. In this case, I gotta travel, but I did spray this in store. Walked around with it, tried it out, and I had to see what it was doing on my skin because the initial blast, it's a bit abrasive. But that dry down though is worth it. Yeah. And that's about it. I guess I can quickly show you some of the other ones. I have Sam Edelman Duet. This is a new Sam Edelman. The bottle looks like a ballet slipper and it's a fig scent, but it also kind of smells like Sweet Pea from Bath & Body Works. I love. Then we have 3 from Euphoria, or Calvin Klein Euphoria line, and this is like their elixir collection. So they have Solar Elixir, which is like mango, vanilla, orchid. All of these scents are orchid and vanilla. Then we have Magnetic Elixir, which is like their romantic take on the orchid vanilla. This is probably the most crowd pleasing, I guess, and most vanillic of all of them. And we have Bold Elixir. This kind of has like this plastic doll head vibe. Like it literally smells plasticky, which I'm kind of addicted to. And the last travel is Good Girl Gone Bad, which is like osmanthus, like beautiful white florals with a beautiful musky dry down. I love. And And I think that is also great in conjunction with a lot of my other perfumes. So, anywho, that is it for today. Let's get up close and personal. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And until next time, as always, 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 love you, love you, love you, to the moon,